Hello, today is January 19th. It's Wednesday. Our message today is the gateways to wisdom and knowledge are always open to me. I am keeping this set up with the chakra organized spheres from yesterday's spread on the Kundalini energy. I'm not 100% sure if that video uploaded or did not. I tried recording it 3 different times, 3 very different spreads, and had trouble each time. So as of right now, I'm recording the Wednesday's video. I haven't checked because I just don't even want to know if it worked or not. I did add a message to the last attempt that I uploaded and wrote in the description, like the last cards that had been cut off. I just wrote up their description of what it got, and so we'll see. But we're gonna find out if this is working today or not. Anyways, today's spread is the Soulmate Spread. In the book, it states that they Sasha Graham put it in the book today because this was, I believe they met on a film on this day. I know who I'm talking about. Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy met on a set on this day, and their affair, lasted nearly 30 years. And even though they never got married nor publicly acknowledged that they were in love, because Spencer Tracy was married, and I don't believe he ever divorced, but he was with Katharine Hepburn. So anyways, because of that and their long-lasting love that just far outweighed, like I said, he was married when they met. Today is, we're going to do this Soulmate Spread, which is how I've labeled it. It does suggest, and today's the 19th, and Monday, the 17th was the full moon. So usually they say 2 to 3 days before a full moon and 2 to 3 days after a full moon, the energy is still very vibrant and can be utilized. And this particular spread did suggest it to cast your cards, light pink candles for love a few days. It says before the full moon, and then cast your cards. I would suggest it if you want to do this spread, this Soulmate Spread, and to inquire on your particular sweetheart. Light some pink candles. We're still in that energy of the full moon, and go ahead and cast your cards and ask these questions. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull them as I go. And I have a bunch of oracles that I'm going to pull to at the end. So these 2 here are Mystic Moon oracles. It's the Arrows of Love oracle and the Twin Flame Journey oracle. And then there are these Manifest Soulmate oracle cards as well. So I'll pull a little bit from all of that. I guess lastly, we're going to, here you're just going to, if you need to pause it, if you clicked on this, it's because, maybe you're inquiring about a relationship and you want to know if it is a soulmate connection. So that is how I labeled it, right? Is your sweetheart your soulmate? So we're going to go ahead and see if this relationship is built to last. I will quickly add this little blurb that it has in the book that says that a lot of psychics and mediums consider soulmates to be people who have lived and shared various relationships with you in multiple lives as married couples, siblings, and friends. So this means, that you can have more than one soulmate in a lifetime, and they can have different relationships. So friends, siblings, family members, as well as, committed romantic relationships. So take that as it resonates, and as we answer the questions, we cast our cards, you will be able to tell pretty early on what relationship this is speaking to. So our first question is going to be, is my sweetheart basically a happy person? And we have the 6 of Wands. And the 6 of Wands is this victory card. It's, achieving all that, achieving what you want. And so I would say, yes, your sweetheart is basically a very happy person. They're winning at their life. And so they are definitely on a winning streak of accomplishing their goals and meeting those desires that they set forth. Really, that those goals are being achieved. So I would say, yes, your person is a happy person. Do we want the same type of relationship? 6 of Swords. I don't know. The Six of Swords is about moving towards something that you want. So like this Six of Wands is achieving that goal and having that victory. The Six of Swords is moving towards that. So do you want the same type of relationship? I'm getting a vibe of yes. For some of you, it's a very clear yes, you do, and you're both willing to move towards what you both want. For some of you, I am getting that it's more of a compromise. And so do you want the same type of relationship? It's going to take one of you to make a bigger compromise of maybe leaving some aspects of your life behind. So this could mean, maybe you met online and you live in different places, or maybe you met at during this time that we're in, and maybe there was early on there was talks that you would be in the same place, but for whatever reason one of you is not there now, and it could be influenced by what we're experiencing just globally. And so now you have to make that decision about, will you move with them or will they move towards, to be towards you. So do you want the same type of relationship? There is a definite yes for some, and you're both, on this path of, this person's very happy, right? Because they're achieving their goals. And in regards to relationships, you're both on this boat towards this, moving towards the same place. The reason I am getting these two messages is that in this tarot deck, the Six of Swords is just one person on the boat going towards the shore. In a more traditional interpretation of this card, there's a family on the boat. So I think we're going to intuitively interpret this card to these two messages then. So for some, it's a, yes, you want the same type of relationship and you're both willing to make the compromises and make this journey together to to that relationship that you both want. And so you're willing to make those compromises mutually. And for some, it's really speaking of you or them needing to make a decision. If this relationship is what they want, then yes, one of you is going to make a big move towards the other person to be able to then have this relationship, this type of relationship, right? This committed soulmate energy relationship. Would I want to spend time with this person even if I wasn't attracted to them? We have the Hermit. The message I'm getting, and I'm not getting in this moment, I'm not receiving two messages. It's just one message for this card. So the question is, would I want to spend time with this person even if I wasn't attracted to them? And I'm getting a yes. The Hermit card is about being comfortable, not feeling lonely by yourself, but knowing that you need to take time to yourself to re-energize, to align, right, your energy. It's good to take those pauses to meditate on these big life in general, right? Whatever it is you're going through, it's good to take those pauses. And in regards to this person, would you want to spend time with them even if you weren't attracted to them? I'm getting a yes, because they also value this time on their own and they have respect for their time. And not only that, but they see the value of having those pauses when you need to. Even in these soulmate connections and relationships, you still need to be comfortable by yourself. And so, yes, you would want to spend time with this person, even if you weren't attracted to them, because you recognize there are these affinities amongst you. And one of those is that you both respect your individuality and that time that you each need to yourselves to replenish and and align yourselves to be able to then come together. It's beautiful. Are they funny? Let's see if they're funny. The Emperor. Okay, so maybe their humor is more on the dry side. Yes, they're funny. They are a little more on the stoic side. So I would definitely say more of a dry sense of humor, maybe a more intellectual type of sense of humor. So maybe not the slapstick type of comedy humor will they engage in. It's not that they don't find that funny, but maybe it's not innate to their sense of humor. Their sense of humor is more dry, cerebral, humor. And having said that, they are funny, and they do have a sense of humor that is that also comes in. I'm getting this message of this. It'll throw you off sometimes because it can come out of nowhere, and it's very almost like I'm getting an impulsive vibe to their humor where they can laugh at a joke, they get a joke. Maybe if they're telling a joke, like I said, it's more of this very dry cerebral type of humor. However, they can be spontaneous and definitely catch you off guard. So their funny can be very spontaneous, and that's a pretty good quality. The way I'm seeing it here, definitely yes to the funny. Are they consistent in their actions? The Two of Pentacles. It's interesting. So are they consistent in their actions? No. I'm getting a sense that they keep you on your toes, and that may or may not be something that you're looking for, you're comfortable with. It's definitely something new. I'm getting that sense that it's different. So maybe you're used to, I'll call you later means I'll call you later because this is you are with this person. This is your sweetheart right now, right? So we want to see if this is a soulmate energy. So you're with this person that you're inquiring about. I'm definitely not getting a sense that you're apart. I'm getting a feeling that if you're watching this right now, you are in a relationship with this person, and it's definitely come to a moment in the relationship where you're starting to discuss what's next, what happens next. Are we in this for a while? Are we in this indefinitely? We want to, make a go of it and see where it takes us. And so you're asking if this is a soulmate, if this is a potential soulmate of yours. And so one of those areas that you are trying to decide if you're going to compromise on, it is the consistency in their actions. And so they're not always consistent in returning a phone call or getting replying to a text in a timely fashion that you might would prefer, or just in maybe in prioritizing and making time for the relationship. And I'm thinking of this, what type of relationship do you want? And this Six of Swords, this Two of Pentacles, in regards to their action and their consistency, definitely speaks back to this. What type of relationship do you both want? And so theirs is more, it's a 50-50 right now. Do you want to compromise and be okay with somebody that is going to be somewhat inconsistent? Having said that, the inconsistency isn't flippant and it isn't dismissive. It's just that their energy is towards, there's a balance of their energy towards their career or their work. They could have a family from a previous relationship. They have commitments that are very rooted and that have a foundation in their life. And so that is going to be a balancing act for them. They definitely want this new relationship in their life, but they are balancing it with prior commitments. And they don't necessarily have to just be familial. It could be, like I said, their career. And I'm thinking about career and whether it's school and getting a degree or a position, because of the Six of Swords and this Six of Wands that was, are they a happy person? And it's a yes, because they have achieved a goal that they had in mind for them. But now in regards to this victory and this Two of Pentacles and their consistency in action, I'm led back to this, you know, do you want the same type of relationship? So they are driven by, you know, this is a more, I don't mean mature in age necessarily in regards to the two parties here, but a maturity in how you see the world and how you're setting out to achieve, you know, life goals. And so for this person that you're asking about, they are definitely still really balancing both their private life and their professional life in a very, you know, equal manner. You know, sometimes, for example, I would say a less mature energy would be if you both met in school, you know, whether that was in high school or in college. And so at that point, if you, you know, when you meet somebody, okay, I'm being corrected. You can meet somebody, if this is your story and you're in college now or in high school, and you both could see yourselves as soulmates, as life partners, this, you know, early on the journey, but you're having to decide, you know, maybe one of you wants to go to graduate school and one of you just got offered a great job in the town that you live in, and then the other one just got accepted to graduate school outside of that area. So you need to decide if relationship is worth balancing, you know, but we're starting to see some inconsistencies in actions. So then maybe there is this moment to, like the Hermit, you know, take that pause and see if which you both are about. So in this deliberation, you'll come to decide whether or not you're going to continue in this relationship. For others, you're both established in your lives and you're meeting now. And so again, there is this question of actions and consistency. And so one or both of you, and since we're asking about your person, it's more, you know, you decide which one you fall on. Are you the one that's needing to balance out multiple areas of your life and then not having enough time for this relationship the way that your person would want? Or is that you? You know, are you seeing these inconsistencies? So I'm getting those messages here. Am I afraid to disagree with them? Oh, this is a good question. Let's see. Are you afraid to disagree with them? Page of Pentacles. I'll start playing over here. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. Page of Pentacles. So are you afraid to disagree with them? And we got the Page of Pentacles. I would say no. You're very... I'm getting these like multiple messages. Okay. The pages are typically a younger energy. So sometimes that's described as maturity levels. So I would say in regards to disagreeing with them, the Pentacles, though, are earth energy. They're very grounded and rooted. So this is one of those this is a layered response. I don't believe that you're afraid to disagree with them because you're very grounded in your beliefs, in your ideologies, in your points of view. However, the page energy can translate to a almost stubborn, prideful way of seeing your point of view. So then it's not that you're afraid to disagree, it's that you don't like to be wrong. So you like, and this could be either or, right? The energies here can, you know, you're going to know if this answers in response to your person or to you. And so one of you or both can be very comfortable in a debate and holding your ground, but be aware, like, go back to this Hermit energy, right? And remember how to pause things to see, you know, are you holding on to your position from a place of pride and not wanting to give or not wanting to be wrong? And so then maybe not great at listening or hearing other opinions. And when we're talking about soulmate energy and relationships, that's not typically something that you want in your relationship, right? From a soulmate, you would want a little more compassion in being able to hear your side. So it isn't that you're afraid to disagree, and maybe they aren't either afraid to disagree with you, but this Page of Pentacles is, I would say, a little caution to assess that. Think about when you do have those disagreements, or when you're disagreeing with a point of view that they have, and it can be something very small, like, you know let's go out to eat, or let's go see a movie, and who's continually making the choice, and then is the other person just going along with it, or do you end up having these larger discussions around it? If you're suddenly realizing, like, wait a minute, I'm always saying yes to what they said, then that's something to think about, that it's not that you're, again, afraid to disagree, but why or how is it that you're coming to these agreements, right? Who's having to compromise more, and are you holding your ground in these arguments from a position of not wanting to to be wrong, for example, or to give in? And so I would caution that energy here. How well do they listen to you? Okay, how well do they listen to you? Page of Cups. So very well. So we'll go back and forth, right? This was, were you afraid to disagree with them, and how well do they listen? So I'm getting an energy, depending on what person you're taking these responses from. If this, this is your person. So if these responses are definitely more lean towards them, lean towards you, you'll know. So do they listen to you? Yes. And they listen to you very intently. They hang on to your words. It's filled with, they're coming from a position of their heart space, of love, of compassion, of empathy, of really listening. Again, a page in that childlike quality. They're very taken by your words, and they hang on to every word. Again, or do you feel this is your energy towards them? So it brings us back to this. Are you afraid to disagree with them? No. But again, if they're these great listeners, or you are, and you have that quality of just almost admiration for their words, that really comes from this pure place of your heart, this other side is this Page of Pentacles that can be a little stubborn and prideful. So I would definitely see who it is that you feel these how the messages are coming through for your person. You're definitely not reading it for the as I'm doing this reading for one person that's asking about someone else. I would say the person asking is very comfortable here, and this other person is very willing to give in to them and listen to them. So I would definitely take that as it resonates. How do we manage conflict together? Seven of Cups. Nice. So the way that you're managing conflict is by laying out all the parts, which would make sense to these two pages in regards to the communication skills and levels here. I would say that when it comes down to conflict, when you're both able to sit and see all these different sides, right? It's usually yours and theirs, and then all the other pieces. So there is something really nice about that, and the Cups energy really being centered in your heart. It's definitely how you manage conflict together, is by seeing all the parts and being able to listen, and and have some grounded energy towards these three cards are really about communication. How do they listen to you? Are you comfortable, are you afraid to disagree with them? And then how do you resolve conflict? So I think these three cards are really, there's some really rooted, grounded energy in your communication skills with each other, along with a lot of communication being heart-centered, which is what we all aim for, I would hope, in communicating, so that we're definitely seated in our heart space to have to know that our messages and our words are coming from a really centered position, along with being grounded. So I think this is a good indicator of how you would manage conflict, is by um, seeing all sides of the argument or the conflict to try and find a resolve. I will add a message that's coming in very, maybe for one person or a couple, not for a collective, but it's coming in nagging for just a person or two, is that the Seven of Cups does represent multiple options, lots of opportunities. And so that can also mean that conflict for some is going to drag on, because if there are these multiple possibilities and outcomes, also, anchored in this somewhat stubborn energy of the Page of Cups, and this more sensitive energy of a Page of Pentacles, more stubborn energy, Page of Cups, more sensitive energy. When it comes to conflict, those two can butt heads, in that one person may start to feel taken advantage of over the other. And so when you have that happening multiple times, that could cause actually more conflict than resolve. That message is coming in very mild, but I did need to say it. Do we have similar life priorities? The Moon. So do you have similar life priorities? There are some hidden parts that you haven't shared yet. So I think this goes back to this Hermit energy about being attracted to them even if you weren't together, and the answer being like yes, because like kind of recognizes like, and you recognize that this person needs time on their own, needs time for themselves, for whatever that is. And I think that's where these life priorities come in, as well as for yourself, recognizing that it's okay to want time alone to align, but does that interfere with the big picture and the priorities in the life that you want for each other? Now remember, do you want the same type of relationship? We had that Six of Swords with one person on that boat going towards the shore. And so the message I was getting was that if you're both willing to compromise, and one of you is needing to compromise a little more at this time, then yes, you can have this same relationship goals. But it seemed to really sway more on the side of you, the listener here, needing to compromise for that other person. And so in regards to, do you have similar life priorities? This Moon is really strong energy, a lot of emotion, a lot of emotion in this person that is hidden beneath the surface. So it may not always appear that they are that this is a priority, for example, or this relationship is, or what is. Like I said, they're definitely balancing some other big part of their life. So their whole life isn't this relationship, this personal life of theirs. They have another side. And so in regards to similar life priorities, there is some, I don't want to say the word that's coming to mind is conflict, but I think it's because we were just reading about our communication style here. But the Moon is a really great energy. I mean, we're coming off of a full moon right now. There's a lot of depth and energy to the Moon that does come out. So it's in the, it illuminates the night, right? It lightens the night sky. And in that there's mystery, in that there is hidden energies that come out only in the dark, right? That's that Moon energy, but it is very fluid and rich in emotion. So if you relate to this person like this Hermit energy, then yes, you would have similar life priorities in prioritizing yourselves and prioritizing that duality, that shadow side to each other. And in that sense, then yes. But there is, for some, that part that your partner, the person you're asking about, or who this is resonating towards, this person tends to be like this hermit, be the person on the boat by themselves. And this could be you. I mean, when we look at this, as I'm looking at it, from up here, you know, one person here is victorious. There's not a crowd. One person is on the boat going towards the shore. The hermit, by, being comfortable in, in your seated by yourself, in yourself, being comfortable and content that way. That's a great quality. The emperor, again, one person sitting at the throne. And then we have this balancing act of other, commitments. So I would say that in regards to life priorities, if you are comfortable having a partner that is very independent and very comfortable on their own, but they're happy balancing a relationship with you, then yes, these are similar life priorities. But if you know in your heart, if you're aligned and you're clear in your wants and desires, and you want a partner that is maybe not this comfortable by themselves, and you would prefer a partnership that is much more not even social, but almost like needing of another person, and wanting that, and making that, making this personal soulmate relationship a priority, then this may not be the person for you, because this person is very comfortable being independent, being by themselves, and so they are willing to find a way to balance and have you and be part of, have you as part of their life. But again, their actions will be somewhat inconsistent, because you won't be, in their soulmate connection, that the soulmate needs to understand that they will always be first in their lives, not someone else, right? And that's their balance. And they're communicating that. They're not keeping that hidden, but it's hidden in the sense that you may be feeling that that's because this is maybe a newer relationship, and so you're having to decide, like I said, these early decisions here. Are we compromising to go? Do we want the same thing, basically, right? And so you're learning about this person, and so you have some questions. If you're thinking that they're going to change if you make these larger commitments, they're not. They're very comfortable in who they are, in this hermit energy. They're victorious. They've gotten this far, and they've achieved what they have on their own. And so, or at least seemingly, right? I say that with a sort of a grain of salt, because I don't believe that anybody achieves anything in a vacuum. We are part of this global world experience, and so whether or not we like to admit it, if we want to be stubborn about it, we don't do things on our own. But there are aspects of our achievements and our ways of moving in the world that we do prefer by ourselves, or we get to a position where we can choose to go home to ourselves. And so when we want to let somebody else in, they need to understand that. And that's really the energy I'm getting from the person that you're asking about. Or it really could also be you, and your person this spread then is to let you know that this is what they're struggling with. Maybe they want somebody more present or available more readily, and they're learning how to navigate that you are this very independent person who does not want to just give up that independence or give up of their time. They're going to want to continue to have this time for themselves. So either side, there is one player in this connection that is not mysterious for the sake of being mysterious, but it appears that way in sort of life priorities. And the priorities are that they really prioritize themselves. And it's not coming from an ego place of prioritizing themselves. It's just how they're happiest, and they're very comfortable in their own skin, and being, living their life, having a soulmate would be an addition and something that they could find, time for, but it's not going to outweigh the lifestyle that they've imagined or that they have set up for themselves. Does not mean that they can't be a soulmate or have multiple soulmates. This is just their personality. So the final question is, are we truly soulmates? I got 4 of Pentacles. I knew going into this year that if I was going to do these readings, it would not always be this unicorn and rainbow readings. And so, is this truly a soulmate? The 4 of Pentacles is, to me, neither a positive or a negative card. It is just, for this reading, really reiterating that this person is holding on to their independence. So it could be a matter of, and I'm going to pull a couple of these oracles. I'm going to do some oracles of arrows of love oracles, and then some twin flame journey oracles. So what's happening here is that one of you in this situation that you're asking about is really happy and comfortable in their life the way that it's been, and that's been mostly by themselves and not in a relationship. Maybe they have just relationships when they want when they want, but not commitment in that way. And so they're not really trying to let go of their freedoms, freedoms in quotes, like however that's defined for you or this person. So does it mean that they couldn't commit and have a full, relationship? Sure, they're willing to do that, right? There is that 2 of Pentacles, but it really does speak to that inconsistency of actions, because as we've seen through all the other cards and in this final 4 of Cups card, 4 of Pentacles card, they are not very willing to prioritize above themselves. And still, the energy I'm receiving is not ego driven. They could be, with this Emperor energy, regardless of the question that, when these cards came up, the energies are here, and just in the imagery on this deck as well. And so it could be that they've been hurt before. It could be that that's just not how they were raised, in a soulmate type of environment. But whatever it is, they're holding on to their independence fiercely. Again, not ego driven, not because they're playing around. I'm not getting that energy at all. It's just that they're really not about making those commitments, and they might have in the past. I'm getting more of that energy, like they've been hurt, and so, are you willing to make some compromise and continue on to see where this leads you? And then maybe they have a different, maybe that changes, but right now, and it could change, because the 4 of Pentacles is not like a major arcana or even a court card energy, and we, the court cards we got were pages, so they're young, so it's more of, like I said, more of a fleeting, immature energy that can grow and mature. But we do have the Emperor, we do have the Hermit, we do have the Moon, and so those energies are very rooted and very set in their ways. So that energy is definitely not one that is passerby. But the 4, in regards to, are we truly soulmates? This 4 of Pentacles is saying that, again, there's a lot of compromise here from one of you. The energy is fleeing, though, which means to say, from my interpretation of this and the energy I'm receiving, that it can pass, but we don't know in which direction. So Cloud 9, Key to My Heart, Up in Smoke. So I would say that you're feeling very on cloud nine, or if this reads more like you're the one that's this Hermit Emperor Moon energy, then they're definitely feeling on cloud nine with you. You know, you're definitely willing to, you know, you're offering them the key to your heart. But this up in smoke is caution. You know, take it slow with this Hermit energy. You know, maybe you need to be more of this Emperor, and not just get in this boat with them at this time, or give it time, right? I would say, let's see, self-worth. I think this person has a lot of that. And release. I'll do one more. Bound. So as I wrap this soulmate spread, is, you know, your sweetheart, your soulmate. I would say the bigger message I'm receiving here is to really focus on self-worth. Remember that Hermit card, and taking that time to meditate on this and see, you know, this up in smoke and this bound and this release card really, you know, using this energy that you're still independent of this reading. We're still within that time frame of using, really like going in on this new moon energy. You still have another day or so. So I would really strongly suggest meditation, and sitting, you know, what is it that you're wanting from this current relationship that you're in? Where do you see it? How do you see it? Maybe look at the questions again and see where you are on this, because you know, this cloud nine is sort of like this up in smoke where it can be really great, but it's not something that we can, you know, rely on per se. And so, but our self-worth is. And so we don't want to be bound to any person, or feeling like we can't, you know, back to this person being so independent and so rooted in who they are and so grounded in knowing that energy for themselves is definitely a powerful self-worth. And so, like I said, the energy I'm feeling is not prideful or egotistical in any way. It's that they have a high self-worth. And so I would say you want to definitely look into that as well, because you don't want to be bound into something that isn't going to change. So you want to maybe release any of those expectations, or release the notion that, you know, you will change, or that you, if you change for them, they're going to then change for you. I would definitely release that. I'm getting some of that energy. And instead I would focus on the really the strongest energies here are self-worth, our independence, our being really grounded and centered in who, you know, someone here, whether it's you or the other person, they are this emperor. They're very grounded. And the moon, they're very comfortable and seated in themselves, but they're also very comfortable in their emotions. They're it's just a really good energy. But how that fits into a soulmate relationship is the question, right? And what we see here is that one of you is not at the same place as the other. And so when you can both be at that self-worth place, because you've released any of the past and you're not bound by any past baggage from other relationships or just family relationships, and, you know, work relate when we can release that baggage and that feeling bound, then we can see things more clearly. And in that clarity, we can see our whole selves joining in a relationship. Then we don't have these questions, right? This, you know, are they consistent in their actions? Are they the one? Are, you know, why am I comfortable arguing with this person? Or, you know, am I not afraid, but is it also, you know, is someone giving too much? Because they seem very open, really great listeners, but they're holding on to something, and I'm not quite sure why. So I'm spirit's not being totally clear with where this goes, but I think well, what I am hearing, the message that I'm here to give to you is sit in your space. Make sure you're comfortable in who you are, so that you're not needing to compromise in jest or in hopes of changing the other person, but really taking your time, knowing who you are, so you can get to know this other person. and then see where this goes. Maybe then do this spread in, at the next full moon. See a month from now, let's revisit and see where the energy has taken us. But right now, I would say definitely, I'm not getting a clear, like, yes, this is a soulmate connection and everything is great. There is one of the people in this relationship, needs to do some more self-healing, some more self growth, and really getting to know who they are before they can, be a partner of equal nature to this person that we read, because this person is very independent. And like I said, if I was getting a very ego driven person, that's narcissist or stuck in themselves, I would say that is not the energy I'm getting. So I guess this is my first reading here that wasn't just, I feel like the message made me a little sad, but not in a bad way, just in the energy of, it's always exciting when you're in a relationship, and it seems like a pretty new relationship that I'm reading for. And I know that feeling of wanting all the answers up front and then maybe not getting those. So however this resonated, take what resonates, leave what does not. And also know that none of this is set in stone. This is just this reading right now that I did, but take it as you will and know that you can change things. And I don't mean changing for somebody, but you can make adjustments to your own, to your own self, to then say, hey, you know what, these cards resonated, but I didn't like, this was really more about me and I need to do some work here. Or that this person isn't for you, and so it's time to, throw this fish back in and, and set out to find, take some time, and then the next relationship will come in. So I'll see you tomorrow, January 20th.